wanted the best? You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. thechrisvossshow.com. It's never official until the fat lady sings, as they like to say, ladies and gentlemen. The big iron lady from Bugs Bunny. That was what I thought my head when I thought of that. So welcome, folks, to the Chris Voss Show. We certainly appreciate you guys coming by as an audience. Remember, we are the core distributor of the smartest people in the world, and the knowledge, the excitement, the funniness, and all the craziness that we put into the show. Be sure to check it out. Be sure to refer it to your friends and relatives. We certainly appreciate you guys to support the show, giving us those 5-star reviews over on iTunes, going and referring the show to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss one on the TikTokity, and there's a Chris Voss group on Facebook now that you can chat over there. It's chrisvossfacebook.com. We'll take you to that. We have an amazing young lady on the show today, and she's going to be talking to us about meditation and how you can use it as medication. Her byline is medication to meditation, and how to improve the quality of your life, which is what we do here on the Chris Voss Show. We have another podcast you can have called How to Destroy Your Life with the Chris Voss Show, but you don't want to listen to that one. You want to listen to this one. This one's How to Improve Your Life, because that one's depressing. You don't want to do that. So we're going to be talking to her. Karina Cury joins us on the show. She is a holistic life guide devoted to helping others thrive. As an author and certified holistic health coach, she empowers people to transform their lives through self-compassion, mindful living, and spiritual growth. Her own journey came from rock bottom to rebirth that taught her lasting change comes from within. Throughout integrative techniques, including meditation and emotional healing, she guides clients to rediscover their inner light. Her approach is grounded in compassion, intuition, and deep listening. She creates a safe, judgment-free space for people to unpack old wounds and release limiting beliefs while reconnecting to their highest potential. Whether you feel lost, anxious, or simply ready to move on to the next level of personal expansion, she is here to support your awakening. We're going to awaken on the show, darn it. She will take you down a profound path of self-discovery together with new perspectives, renewed purpose, and you'll gain the tools to live a greater meaning and balance and joy. Welcome to the show, Karina. How are you?
I am great. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Thanks for coming. Give us a dot, whatever your dot site is, so that people can find you on the interwebs.
So if you want to know more about my work, go to my website, www.karina.life. That's KARINA.life. I am on Instagram and Facebook as Holistic Harmony. Mm-hmm. And I also have my personal Karina Cury. So I have two.
There you go. And you wrote the book Awakening, A Journey from Medication to Meditation, that came out September 30th, 2023. Give us a 30,000 overview of what you put in the book.
So the book, it tells you a little bit about my journey. I'm an immigrant from Brazil. I came here. I was 18 years old, fresh out of home. Never been anywhere else. Wanted to be a horse trainer. Yes. Got here, went through some trials, tribulations like everybody else, and some moments of happiness, of course. But got married, got divorced. The horse training thing didn't happen. Got married, got divorced, found myself following the patterns of my parents, which happens when you're, the inner child traumas, and you tend to do that when you don't heal yourself completely. Then I got really depressed, and my friends were worried about me. I of course didn't know what I know today, or I would never go this path, but I end up going to a psychiatrist, end up taking medication. And I don't know if you know how that works, but you go in for a 30-minute interview with your psychiatrist, and then she decides you're depressed and she prescribes you medication. Then you come back 2 weeks later for another $300 appointment. And then you talk for 10 minutes, and then she says, oh, okay, well, let's up your dose. That goes on. Now you can't sleep. So now let's give you more medication so you can sleep. Well, then you start having panic attacks. Then, okay, well, let's give you medication for that. Well, now your GI is not working because you're on so much medication. So let's give you medication for that. And then during the day, you're using all kinds of things to just stay awake because you're on so much medication, and you're not living, you're surviving. And doing that for 10 years. And my mom passed away. I went through, found this holistic life coach, and she changed my life. So working with her, I was able to get off medication. I start learning a lot about spirituality and psychology of the mind. And I found so much joy that I wanted to pay forward. I wanted to help people get where I am now. So that's how I was in a spiritual retreat, and I had this download that I needed to write a book to empower people and tell them how I did it. So I did that. I wrote the book. I went through training to become a holistic life coach myself. And now that's what I do. And I love it.
There you go. And now you're inspiring people and getting them activated and teaching them the difference of meditation. Now, is there a certain meditation style? I think there's a few different styles, isn't there? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct. I use them all. It depends. It depends how much time you have during the day. I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza. I follow lots of meditation styles, and I teach my clients how to do. You got to figure out what fits for you. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza, his meditations are real deep and long. Sometimes, but you got to start slow. As the power of small steps. And you got to start with changing your habits every day. And sometimes you just have, people can do 30-minute meditation. So do a 5-minute meditation to get yourself down that path. But it's not just meditation, it's the coaching part, is working on releasing traumas from childhood, healing your inner child, and also working on self-love. 90% of the population don't know how to love themselves. And that is a problem.
Yeah. It's hard to give love if you can't receive love, and it's hard to receive love if you can't give love. I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you will never receive love if you don't love yourself first.
That's true. So I think that's what I'm trying to say, or at least that's what I'll say.
Yes.
I don't know. It sounded good in my head at the time. But I think we found a way to wander through that. So what would you say is the biggest misconception people have about holistic health, wellness, and meditation?
I think people don't understand what holistic means. And holistic means whole. It means I work with the mind, body, and spirit. It's not just working on the psychology of the mind, but it's a total life change, a lifestyle changing, right? It's not, you have to work on your body, you have to work on your mind, and you have to work on your soul. So there's spirituality involved. And that doesn't mean that is my spirituality, what I believe. Everybody's spiritual, right? And it's whatever they believe in, they can incorporate into their life, but bring in to their life, believe in something bigger than yourself, right? And whatever you believe in, the universe, the creator, God, life source, whatever you want to believe in, but have that belief that there is something bigger than you out there. And then that your body is a vessel that carries your soul. And it's an amazing tool you have. Without this body, the soul cannot be living this life here on earth and experiencing all the things that we are experiencing. That's why we're here for. We're here for our own evolution, for our spirit's evolution. So, and we need our body for that, and we need to take care of our body. And that's the problem today, right? In our society, everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's trying to make money. Everybody's trying to do these things, and they don't care about their body anymore. And that's why we're so plugged into pharmaceutical companies. If you look at commercials, every other commercial, it's about a drug. It's Advil, or are you sad? Well, if you're feeling this way, take this drug. And they go really slow talking about all the things that you're feeling that this drug will help you with. And then they go really fast in the side effects. Did you ever notice that? And
Yeah.
the side effects are really long.
Yeah, and the side effects, like you talked about earlier in the show, they compound each other. Like you need you take this drug, and then it has a side effect. Oh, you need this drug for that side effect, and then that drug needs a side effect. You're just kind of just patching holes, like some dam that's breaking, and you're just trying to get all the holes plugged with two hands, and it's not working. You're just bleeding
I
out.
love that analogy. I'm going to use that. That is a great one. That's
There's
exactly
There's an
it.
old Dutch story I remember or there's a picture. I don't know if it was a nursery rhyme or something, but he's how the Dutch have the dams everywhere, and he's like sticking his fingers in the holes as they keep popping out, and he's trying to plug it. Maybe it was a cartoon or something I saw when I was a kid, but you're trying to just constantly plug these holes that are coming through the dam, and there's only so many hands that you have to stop it, and it's just bleeding out, and so you need these things to plug them up, which makes all the difference. One of the things, what advice would you give to someone who's dealing with anxiety or depression and looking to make changes?
So I would definitely tell them not to find crutches, which those medications that I talk about are just crutches. Alcohol is a crutch, marijuana is a crutch. So I would recommend, because people are trying to numb these feelings that they're having, and they don't know where these feelings are coming from, right? So you have to get to the root of these feelings. So I'd recommend somebody to get help, whatever it is. I mean, people have trouble sometimes asking for help or looking for help. They feel like showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness, and it's not. It's on the contrary, it's a sign of strength.
Yeah.
So look for help. I know lots and lots of holistic life coach, and it's, for me, like I said, my holistic life coach changed my life, and that's what I try to do for people. I would stay away from traditional medicine. I would use more, what is the word I'm looking for?
Holistic?
Alternative. Yes, alternative. And start with that, but try it, because there's lots and lots of things that you can do, but it takes work. It takes a little bit of work on your part. And I actually posted on Facebook the other day, there's this line of people, and it says pills and surgery, and then the other line says change of lifestyle, and the line of change lifestyle was empty, and the line to surgery and pills was like a mile long. So that's exactly what's happening. People want the easy way out. Oh, I just want a pill. Well, the pill may mask the problem for a little while, but it causes you so many other problems that the doctors don't tell you about. And I'm not saying medicine is bad. I mean, if you have a broken arm, or you need to, remove a tumor, you go to a doctor. But if you need help with something like depression and stuff like that, you go in there, and the doctors, it's not cost effective for them to spend time with you. They're just going to give you the pill and turn you away, and then you're on your own. So I say, take charge of your own health, of your life, because you are responsible for your own happiness. You, and you only, can achieve that, but you have to put in some work.
There you go. It's really important to that. Now, do you get into psychedelics?
Yes, I did.
Can you recommend them for your clients and stuff?
I do, if they're trying to get off medication. That's how I was able to get off my antidepressants, creating my own protocol using mushrooms.
There you
And yeah, I microdose some mushrooms. And I don't know if you're up to all the research is being done and all the John Hopkins, and
go. Mhm.
they're having a lot of progress. I mean, it's proven that actually cures depression. It
Yeah.
cures depression. So I did get into, I microdose the mushrooms, and people have this idea that is a drug. It's not a drug. It's a plant medicine. I consider it as a plant medicine,
Mhm.
and it's not addictive. You know,
Mhm.
you're never going to hear of someone who's addicted to ayahuasca or mushrooms, because it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So you take long enough to be able to get off medication, and then you don't need it anymore, you know, because then it heals your brain, and it fires up the parts of your brain that are dormant. And it's pretty amazing, all the studies that they're doing. And now they're even talking about using for Lyme's disease, and it's showing so much. I have so much hope for the studies on psychedelics. And
Yeah.
in ayahuasca, you know, you cannot be on any medication. So you have to be completely off. It's a very powerful plant medicine. But
Mhm.
actually, I'm reading a book right now called the Immortality Code, or the
Mhm.
Immortality Key. There's two, but one is about this guy that goes all in deep about the studies of psychedelics and how it's been used for thousands of years. They're testing these chalices that the Greeks, you know, when they were writing plays about the gods and the goddesses, so they're all like in psychedelics, because he actually opens your connection with the divine.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is an amazing journey, but I recommend to done very carefully with someone who knows what they're doing. You know, a lot of people just wanted to go do it. It's not, you have to go on a diet, you have to be off medication, you have to prepare yourself. It's not something to be done lightly.
It sounds like it has to be definitely be done the right way, or else
Hmm.
have some adverse effects. You know, we've had lots of people on the show, doctors and stuff. We've had people that I think we had a ketamine clinic, a guy who runs a bunch of clinics in California for ketamine and stuff. A lot of these things are being found to help people, and sometimes just one session can help them overcome traumas. You know, it's interesting how we store trauma in the body and everything else and make it a part of ourselves. And you find that it helps with microdosing psychedelics as a holistic approach to depression as well, huh?
Hmm.
Wow.
With a lot of coaching, you know, it's not something you just do it and
Mhm. Yeah, you
turn.
gotta you can't just be like, yeah, let's take this and then go drive a
Yeah.
car, go to work and see how that turns out.
Well, but just you have to do the integrative work, you know, because some people
Mhm.
take and they're like, okay, what's happening here? So there's a lot of work to be done around that, and you still have to go in there and release those traumas and talk about these things that happen to you, because we all have PTSD, every
Mm.
single one of us, because we are, you know, we're living, and we had parents who thought they were
Yeah.
doing the best they could, but you
We
know,
all have
bless.
PTSD because we had parents.
Because you know, they thought they knew they were doing the best they could,
They
but you
did.
know, they say things, and you stored from 0 to 7 years old, it's what is in your subconscious, and what you basically react to everything that happens in your life is those informations that you got from 0 to 7 that stay stored. So your parents thought the religion that they thought it was right, or
Mhm.
you know, I'm sure your parents said eat everything in your plate because you know there's people starving in China, or you know, like little things like that. You don't think that messes with people's head, but it stays in their head, and it can causes trouble later on, you know, like don't speak. And what was my dad used to say, women, what did you say, girls don't speak unless it's spoken to.
I thought it was for kids in general, but
No, he said he turned that around. He said,
wow.
Women are not to be heard, they're only to be seen."
Huh.
Oh, he had all kinds of things that, you know, so it's just, but was he doing because he was trying to be mean? No, that's what he thought it was right at the time. No judgment here, you
It's
know.
kind of interesting. There you go. I'm sure a lot of women are like, yeah, that ain't appropriate. There you go.
No, I now we know it's not appropriate. Back then, you know, 1980 some in Brazil, I what did I know, right?
Mm-hmm. There you go. The I think it's funny. I normally say that about kids because I'm single and I have to be on a plane with them, and they're usually screaming, or I'm at a restaurant, they're screaming, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So there you go. Some of your life journey is about being an immigrant from Brazil. And how does that shape you, or how does that shape you as a coach? How does that shape you in your life, and how does it help with your influencing your approach to coaching other people?
I think I have a lot of compassion for people because I don't like to use words like I suffer some discrimination. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
we all do. It's not something like I never wanted people to think that I wrote this book because I want to sound like a victim, because that is not who I think I am.
Yeah,
Everything
you
that
got to
has
tell your story.
everything that happened to me made me the person that I am today. So these experiences that I have dealing with people, you learn a lot from what not to do by people, right? So I think I have a lot of more compassion and understanding for humans in general by living everything that I lived through, not just as immigrant, as a woman, as a single mom, as a so all that shaped me who I am and helped me to have a lot of compassion and see people in a different light. There's no judgment anymore from my part. When I see people, I understand that everybody's going through something. Every
Mhm.
single one of us have a story, and those moms with kids, Chris, on the plane, they're struggling. You go, they're going, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. My kid's screaming. I actually have compassion for them.
Some of them do. Some of them have just no. I mean, I've gone to restaurants here in Utah, and some of them just are oblivious, completely
Oh,
oblivious. There are
oh,
people
but
that there are some that are, and there are some that aren't. There's some that are just completely oblivious, don't give a shit. In fact, it seems like half the time they're just encouraging their kids. Worse,
well,
but
you're in
yeah.
Utah though. That's a
Yeah.
different country.
It really is actually. I don't experience that in LA or Vegas or stuff where I go. But still, I mean, planes and stuff, I've almost been killed on planes from the sickness of crying babies and getting their flus and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a fan. But I mean, there are parents who are struggling, and then there are parents who just they're oblivious, man. And part of the reason the kid's screaming is because they can't get the parent's attention and get security, and the parent is completely, I don't know, looking at their phone or in their own private ido. So there's that. But there you go. Going through this, how do people onboard with you? What sort of services you offer? Do you have courses? What sort of things do you use? Services that people find on your website?
So I offer one-on-one coaching and group coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Depends where you are in your journey. My website, you can go and book a call with me for 30 minutes, and we can see if we are fit for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then see we'll go from there. But I use a lot of modalities. I also work on do some hypnotherapy. Therapy, sorry. It is like going into your subconscious mind and exchanging those limiting beliefs for better beliefs, right? For better things to believe in yourself. And so I worked with anybody. Most of my clients right now are actually women going through a divorce.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There you go.
but because now that's something but I also have men that I work with who are, you know, also going through a divorce.
Oh, really? So it sounds like you're really good. And, the divorce time is a time of it's a hell of a time for change. You have something you believed in that you saw was an identity as marriage, and basically that identity is dying, and you've got to go create your own single person identity. So it's a very tough time to go through that process. You got kids, you got exes, and not everyone's happy usually.
Yes,
I don't know.
exactly.
I never could figure out divorce. Like I've never been divorced, but I'm always just stunned when I date people who like I'm like, you spend more time thinking about your ex than you did when you were married to them, and I don't know why you divorced them, because you really just spend all your time obsessing about them. So I'm just like, I thought you left your ex to get away from them. Like,
Well,
what was the point of this? So, anyways,
it's easy to get away from them if there's no kids. If there's kids,
sure.
is a
Yeah,
whole
it's a whole new
different
ballgame.
ball
Yeah.
game. You're
Yeah.
attached to the person, unfortunately,
For life.
for a life. Yes.
There you go. Something to think about before you sign on that dotted line. I think as a joke, I think they need to make marriage hard to get into as it is to get out of. In fact, it really should be the opposite when you really think about it. It should be really hard to get into marriage, and it should be really easy to get out. Just like, here, sign this paper, you're out. That's how it should be. It's completely the opposite of what it is. But all
Well,
jokes aside.
well, what happens is people grow apart because they go in separate length, right? Like if you're marriages that work is people that are going the same direction.
Mhm.
And so, for example, with my journey going through this self-discovery and all that stuff, and then that person's like, oh yeah, go, but he stays here and you're here, and then you can't, you know, you find yourself like, we have nothing in common, we have nothing to talk about, we, you know, don't like the same things. But when you're young and you get married, you think, oh, you know, and that is one of the problems that I work with people, that people when they're young, they always think they can fix that other person. Well, you cannot fix anything but yourself. That you're only can change, the only person that can change is yourself. But you go in and going and ignoring all these things that, you know, you don't like, but oh, you know, he's a good guy, and I'm sure if you get married and have kids, things will be okay. Well, no, it gets worse
Mhm.
because you didn't agree in a lot of things when you're single. Now you have children and you're buying houses and you're talking about finances, and it becomes very difficult. So I agree with you. They should make, like, people go through lived like steps of into marriage, right? Date, then you have to move in together and stay 4 years, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and then decide if you want to get married.
Yeah, I believe that, and you should have to go to get a college degree for a couple of years to learn how to be a parent. You need to learn to wash away all your traumas. And so, talk to me a little bit about that, if you would, as we round out. You know, people. One of the problems with relationships nowadays, people drag their traumas right into their relationships, and they haven't healed them. So they're just these wounded animals getting involved with people that maybe sometimes they shouldn't be involved with, because they're trying to fill a space of a vacant father or whatever situation they grew up with.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So it's lack of self-love. You know, you get into a relationship because you're incomplete. Most people get in, I wouldn't say most, a lot of people get into a relationship, and because they want to fix something in their life, or because they don't want to be alone, because they don't feel complete and they want someone else to complete their life, or they have codependency issues, self-love issues, so they think that person is going to bring something that's missing in them. Well, you can't do that. You have to be complete, and then you bring a relationship that adds to your happiness.
Yeah.
So that's what the problem starts when you're marrying for the wrong reasons. You should
Mhm.
marry someone because you guys have a great friendship, and you like the same things, and you like to do things together, and you laugh together, and you have to talk about all the difficult things from the beginning, like finances, how you want to raise your children. People never want to talk about those things in the beginning, right? Because they're like, oh, but we're just having fun right now. No, you have to decide if you're in the same page. Let's talk about, how do you want to raise the children? What,
Mhm.
you know, how do you do your finances? What is your credit score? I mean, do you want to be a homeowner or not? You know, all these things. Are you going to want me to work, or you want me to stay home and raise the children? What, you know, and then you need to tell, I want to stay home and raise the children, and then maybe that person wants you to work. So it's like all these things need to be talked about, it not just, you know. And then you get children involved, the poor things, and they didn't ask to be born, and now you're maybe have traumas and triggers and stuff like that. Now you're creating this person who's going to be full of issues just like you. So if you're not knowledgeable, kids, I mean, even in school, kids are taught completely wrong. The teachers should be asking the kids to teach them. It should be the other way around. That's the way that kids should be teaching. They shouldn't be like brainwashed to just sit there and listen to the teachers. It should be interactive and should be asking questions. And you should be parenting your kids like that too. You don't just tell them what to do. And they're human beings with feelings and thoughts, and they're smart, and they need to be nurtured just like a little tree. You have to take care of it to grow properly. So you don't just have children and wing it.
A lot of people do. It seems to be the thing to do, and then you end up with this giant mess, and people are like, "Hey, what happened, eh?" So there you go. Well, this has been very insightful. Tell people one last pitch on how they can onboard with you, get involved, get your coaching, et cetera, et cetera.
So yeah, get a hold of me through my website, www.karina.life. Book there's an option to book a 30-minute call with me, and I can tell you all about my coaching style. We can actually have a conversation and see what's going on in your life, what things you need clarity on, what things you feel like you need to better in your life, and I can see if you're a fit, and we can go from there.
There you go. Well, thank you very much, Karina, for coming on the show.
And people can read my book too.
That's right. Order the book.
Yeah, it's on Amazon and all the major Awakening, A Journey from Medication to Meditation.
Out September 30th, 2023. Karina Cury. Thank you very much, Karina, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. And thanks to our audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, all those crazy places we're at on the internet. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time.